So we're talking about the big lie technique here, and I started, I framed this originally in the context of Greg Pallas's new movie because it's an important movie, and you need to see it, you need to share it with your friends. It's $3 on Amazon if it's not playing in a theater near you, and it probably is. Go over to Greg's website, gregpallas.com, and check it out. But I started the whole big lie thing with that because we talked about that last week, and you're up to speed on this, I'm guessing. You realize that there's, over 1 billion votes were counted between 2000 and 2014, and they found 31 people who voted more than once. 31. Or people who pretended that they were somebody other than who they were. And most often it was, or who were felons and were not eligible to vote. And we've got now this one person, Terry Lynn Road, who voted twice for Donald Trump. They've got their case, but it's the big lie, right? It's the small little bit of reality, as Hitler pointed out. Usually there's a small germ of truth in the big lie, which makes it plausible. But there are other big lies that are being sold to us right now. Another big lie is that our national debt is going to destroy our country. Now, why would somebody tell that big lie? Why would they say the national debt, our national debt of roughly, 16, 17 trillion, if you take out the Social Security Trust Fund part, our national debt is going to cause us to lose jobs. It's going to cause, well, you've seen the ads, right? It's going to cause society to fall apart. It's going to cause hyperinflation. When none of that seems to be happening, and never has. I mean, there's no example that they can point to. They can't say, oh, after we fought World War II, we were at 129% of GDP, and we were, by the way. It was the largest national debt we've had except for the Revolutionary War, where we had functionally no GDP, and we owed a whole bunch of money to France. So why didn't, when Truman and when Eisenhower became president, we had this 129% of GDP debt. Why didn't our country get wiped out by it? Why did we do so well? Because the national debt, if it's within reason, and within reason is like, within a couple 100% of GDP, it is the place where people store cash. Now think about this for a minute. The government issues IOUs. We call them bonds and treasuries. Who buys those things? People who want a safe investment. When I was a kid, growing up, at every birthday, I think it was my uncle Sig, it might have been my grandfather, it's been so many years, but one of them used to send me a $50 savings bond every year. Maybe it was even a $100 savings bond. And it was back in the days when you would buy the bond for like $34 and you couldn't cash it in for 20 years. And when you cashed it in, it was worth 100, right? And so it had an interest rate kind of built into it and all that kind of thing. So our debt, our national debt, is where people put money because it's safe. They want it to be safe. Now, the guys on Wall Street are looking at this going, investors in the United States and from all over the world, frankly, have put $17 trillion into U.S. bonds, into treasuries and bonds. We would like to have that money in our Wall Street bank because we can make a lot of money with that money. So let's tell the big lie that national debt is going to destroy America. And Republicans and banksters have been colluding to tell this big lie to the American people through my entire lifetime. There's another big lie. Social Security is not going to be here for you when you grow up. They say to 20-somethings, 30-somethings, 40-somethings, 50-somethings. If you're 60, you're getting close enough. But otherwise, forget it. Social Security is not going to be around. The Social Security Trust Fund is going broke. Well, it didn't even used to be a trust fund until the 1980s. It was created to double tax the boomers so that they could pay for not only their own retirement, but that of their parents. Social Security is just fine. It's going to be around forever. And with the smallest of tweaks, it'll be not just solvent, but we could substantially raise Social Security benefits. if we simply had people making over $118,000 a year also pay into the Social Security Trust Fund out of their paychecks. Right now, you make over $118,000, they stop deducting Social Security taxes from your paychecks. Your paycheck goes up after you've made 118 grand, because no more Social Security deduction for you or your employer. Now, if you simply said, okay, whether your paycheck is $1 million, $10 million, or $10,000, you're going to pay Social Security taxes. If we simply did that, there would be no problem. So why the big lie about Social Security going away? Because Wall Street wants to handle Social Security too. So they promote the big lie. There is a bunch of these big lies that have been bought hook and sinker. And behind every single one of them, just like behind the voting lie that Greg Palast exposed, is what? Money. It's all about the money.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann program. Call 202-808-9925.
And you say, well, no. They're trying to throw Democrats off the voting rolls or prevent them from voting because they want power. Yes, they want power to get money. Money and power are essentially the same thing in this society.